Cars.
Okay.
There's a playlist that we have about, and it's currently might change the name. It's called For Young Families.
Okay.
And so when we were a younger family with younger kids, we needed more space. And notoriously, the day happened where I left the house and an Oldsmobile came back in a Tahoe.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't planning on buying the car.
No, you weren't.
But I test drove it.
You left the house. I don't even remember why you left the house. You just left and came back with a completely different car.
Yeah, that happened. But I love the car. Didn't the Tahoe served us super well?
Oh, absolutely. We had 3 kids and 2 dogs.
Three
two
rows.
Big dogs.
Three rows. Which was fantastic.
It was necessary.
We ran that thing into the ground. It was fantastic.
Literally.
But at the time, and it still is the case, the minivan is the vehicle in every variable, except for riding off-road, that is better suited, more comfortable, has more cargo space, is more ergonomic for young families.
I totally agree. Like, we just couldn't commit to that. But when we rented it, like we would go on road trips and we'd rent a minivan. We absolutely loved the minivan. It was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it felt domestic.
Yeah, that was the problem. It was too domestic for me. I couldn't do it.
And the funny thing about that is we were domestic, but we couldn't we couldn't own it.
Like, okay, Miss Not Domestic with your 3 kids and 2 dogs in the suburbs.
Right. Like, who are you fooling? We did not, like, looking back at it as an adult, you say, you're ridiculous. You were exactly the target market for the minivan.
Yes.
You wouldn't get the minivan because you thought it said something about you. The messaging of the minivan was different than what you were telling, the story you're telling yourself.
And can you imagine how much Kel would have appreciated being able to just step into the minivan as opposed to hopping up into the back of the truck?
Yes, I do. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting thing. Like, if you're in your 20s and you're building a young family, or if you're in your early 30s and you haven't quite got to the point where you can see yourself in a minivan, my message is get over it.
Get the minivan. Most definitely. 100, 1000% get the minivan.
It doesn't have to be your only car.
Right.
But it should be a car that you have if you've got multiple kids. Get the minivan. Kids can walk it between the aisles. You can easily buckle them in. You don't have to be reaching around.
Right.
You can walk back there. It's incredible.
Road trips, dogs. It's just all of the storage space, the automatic side doors. Like, there is absolutely no reason not to get a minivan.
Key story. Family friends were in your SUV. You had just got an SUV. And we had 2 of the kids in the back. And one of the kids got out the back. We were at the zoo. And he pushed the door open. This brand new car of yours. And bam, hits the car next door. That's the power of the sliding door. The sliding door eliminates that. You can park in tight spaces and still slide. The door just slides.
Right, just slides. I love it. Okay, so parents in their 20s, early 30s, get a minivan.
Get a minivan.
If you're going to get a pet, I would say I can't speak to cats. I would get a dog early, probably before you bring the kid home. Okay. I think I would get a dog before I brought the kid home. Mm-hmm. I absolutely would. Here's why. Because you have the time and the mental capacity to train the dog. The dogs have to be trained before the kid comes home. So I would get a dog before the kid comes home, so there's plenty of time to train a dog, and then the kid comes home, the dog will be the kid's forever. They'll grow up like litter mates. Mm-hmm. What else?
Dogs love trucks / minivans.
Yeah, I'm sure their hips are going to love minivans so much better. So the young family, I would say minivan, dog before the kids. What else?
I'm not trying to answer every question for young families. It's really about vehicles.
Give me one more.
It really is about vehicles. That's where I was going with. But live near. If you want another thing for young families, I'd say live near family.
Yeah, that's huge.
Help is key.
Help and mental space.
Yeah.
Like, when the kids were 6 and 7, 4 and 5, like the ability to finish a sentence in your head did not exist.
Yeah.
Right? So the ability for somebody to come and pick them up and just take them for the day or take them for the weekend, like
someone
mom
that you
used
trust.
to do, right? Like mom used to do, was huge, because now you're not thinking about the kids at all. I know she's got them. There's nothing that she would allow them to do that I wouldn't allow them to do, and I can just have mental space, which is necessary.
Agreed.
Yeah. Those three are huge.